Welcome to the Full Charge Power Hour. I'm Matt Fulcheron. I'm keeping it light today with my co-host, Brian Irwin. We're dressed kind of similar. I like
similar,
that.
but you're way tanner.
Yeah.
And too bad I didn't show up a week ago because I had a huge G.I. Joe scar across my face from my dog jumping on me in the pool.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it was brutal. It looked awesome.
Yeah, no, that is good.
Almost took an eye out. I mean, it was...
Especially with the camouflage hat. That would have looked nice.
Yeah.
I, every once in a while, maybe once or twice a year, get a bloodshot eye just from my blood pressure.
Just for...
My blood pressure medication, and like because it just filled in my eye.
Why does it do that? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's a bug.
Well,
You know, it's like we're gonna keep your blood pressure down, but you might go blind.
well, how do you have high? Look at you. I know I compliment you on every show about how amazing you are, but you swim.
Yeah.
You get your vitamin D clearly.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You're de-aging, and yet here you are telling me you have high blood pressure.
My lineage
Okay.
is wound so tight from Ireland straight to the Northeast.
It's
You know, my family is all part of like living in New Jersey and working in New York City.
okay.
And if you've seen The Sopranos, they're not criminals. But if you noticed how like everybody on The Sopranos is wound so tight,
Okay.
even the rich next door neighbors, just like I got to get my kid in this. There is so much tension downloaded
Okay.
into, and that's why I used to be a big drinker. I could just drink like crazy
Did it fix it?
while I was drunk.
It did.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
okay.
chilling. I was to the point where I have to tell people when I'm drunk. I have to be like, if they want to start talking to me about something serious, I go, hey, you should know. I'm blackout wasted right now.
Oh.
And they're like, really? You don't seem it. I'm like, trust me. So I might not remember this tomorrow. Because like I'm such a tense person that it really evens it out to a neutral position where I can be myself. And that's why it's funny that that's what I chose for so long to be my stage persona. It was an overcorrection of being totally loose, totally relaxed. And that's why I got completely addicted to getting drunk before shows, because I needed to keep their persona. I didn't want to go up with the nervous energy. Now I don't care. I've even told audiences, I'll rock back and forth. I'll be like, I'm nervous right now. And it doesn't hurt me.
Right.
Like, I'm still like killing, but because it's honest, it's fine.
Well, there's
You know?
the key.
Yeah.
You're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been hard for you to meet new people and make friends then.
It was, but then there's also this other thing where
Still trying to figure out why you've talked to me ever, but that's fine.
Before you're diagnosed or self-diagnosed or whatever we're calling it nowadays, like when I was a kid, I would still go out and I would still make myself talk to women.
So that's the key. So you were forcing yourself to do stuff.
I would still do all these crazy skateboard tricks.
Right.
I would still like go for it and push myself before. It's almost kind of bad in a way to be like, I have anxiety, I can't do this, because then you don't do it.
Right.
But you still need to do that shit.
Right.
And who's to say people who are outgoing don't have it? They probably don't, but they probably have a little bit of it.
No, they have the awesome gene. I can't stand the people that walk into rooms and everyone's like, there they are.
Yeah.
They're like, I haven't even done anything yet. They're like, doesn't matter. We already love you. And then I come in behind them and like, boo! Someone just wrecked the vibe.
And no one's booing you. That's just what you think is happening. Right? So before we started taping, me and Brian were talking about when you're a comedian, I heard Conan O'Brien say, don't go on stage and be like, not my best show, or
Yeah.
this audience isn't great, or, oh, I messed up that joke, because the audience doesn't want it. And so you can treat life like that too. You can treat it like, I'm really bothering this person by doing this. Chances are 50 people are bothering them that day,
Right.
if they even consider it bothering.
Even if they consider it
And like once you knock it down to a text or an email, it even makes it like so easy for that person. You're not bothering anybody. And as long as you don't bother somebody twice in one day, nobody cares. Nobody's
I think I may
pissed.
have done that actually.
Or how many times have you been like, oh my God, they haven't texted me back. And then you get a text back 4 days later, like, sorry, I'm swamped.
All the time.
And texting still doesn't count. I'm sorry. Like if our generation, if someone had to call you on the phone for it to matter. Like if I texted you and was like, hey, can I do Bar Azor on Thursday, and you didn't write me back, I was like, that's because I didn't call him. Nowadays, like if you text somebody, that's legit. But texts are weird because for the longest time, you couldn't mark them as unread. So if you looked at it and somebody's like, hey, Brian, did you do the dishes? And you're like, huh? And then like you just never answered that person.
Right.
Or sometimes you can start to write the person back and you don't hit send because you get another text message.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you get another text message and you're writing your text message and you respond to the text message that comes in. And that's how people send accidental text messages.
There's all those things are true, but people do prioritize their returns. Just
Yeah,
like
no.
you prioritize a return phone call or whether they're going to answer. What you can't do anymore, and you definitely can't do this on text, is when people used to send you to voicemail and you knew they just did it,
Yeah.
you're like, what's up, motherfucker? Why'd you just send me to voicemail?
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, they could be busy
Yeah.
and they don't want it ringing. But if you're psycho in the head,
You go, I'm important. I deserve not straight to voicemail. Me, I love straight to voicemail. Thank God I didn't really want to talk to you anyway. But now the pressure's on. You got one take, motherfucker.
so
Your palms are sweaty. You're sick off mom's spaghetti. You know what I mean? It's go time. Patreon.com/The Full Charge. Give us some dough. Give us some money. I think $1 is reasonable. I think $2 is reasonable. And I'm going to be in San Francisco this week, July 23rd at the Punchline. Come on through. I finally did the first leg of my NorCal tour. I told you my NorCal tour is really spread out.
yeah.
And isn't really a tour.
Yeah.
Negative. Shouldn't say that. It's the tour. It's the biggest tour this year.
Fair enough. Okay, good.
We're down to San Francisco and St. Louis Obispo, but I did some driving
Okay.
this week. Rented the car because I'm like, the car is not going to make it. Or it's not going to make it. It's just going to put some serious
You're
wear
weighing
and
the
tear
options.
on the car. Rented the car, drove up to Novato. You know where that is? Marin County, up outside San Francisco.
That's up there.
Yeah.
That's a haul.
Saw my mom and dad and my Aunt Cindy. It's my Aunt Cindy's house. Oh, excuse me. Drove to Tahoe. I don't know why.
Same trip.
Same trip.
Okay.
So I'm driving every day like it's a triple run.
Got it. Okay.
Drive to Nevada one day, pick up my parents, drive to Lake Tahoe, and I don't know why people are pissed at Joe Biden because there are so many fucking jobs out there. There are so much road work going on from Nevada to Tahoe. I got caught in 4 traffic jams. It was a 3-hour trip. It took me 6 hours to get to Tahoe.
They love doing construction in the summertime when
Uh-huh.
people travel the most on the roads, which has always been fascinating to
Yep.
me. I mean, I guess you can't do it in the winter, right? So there's the rub.
I guess not, but goddamn, man, it sucks.
Yeah, it does. Adding those hours on that ass, dude.
Yeah. So again, glad I got the rental car. Went to Lake Tahoe, had a day there of no travel. Was in the speedboat. I was water skiing.
Okay,
It
there
was
you
on
go.
my Instagram. You see my Instagram?
I did not. I
I'm
missed that
water
one.
skiing, dude. And I only got up twice.
Are you a newbie?
Ate it.
You've done it before.
I've done it before, but I did it 30 years ago.
Okay, but you have you
I
figured
honestly,
it out, didn't you?
I knew how to do it.
Exactly.
My dad is a sailor and not a speedboat guy.
Does he wear the hat?
He's
and
also
all
a
that?
car guy. He does wear a hat.
The captain's hat?
No, he doesn't wear a bucket hat. He wears
No,
like
not
a
a bucket,
regular.
a captain's
No,
hat.
he doesn't wear a captain hat. He's
Okay.
not. That's not his vibe.
Okay.
He's low key. You know what I mean? If he's the if you know he's the captain, you're in the know. He doesn't need a hat. But he's also like he really takes care of his cars and stuff.
Okay.
So like water skiing with him is funny because he'll get you up and then he'll downshift.
Because he doesn't
Because that's how
wanna-
he drives cars. Like he doesn't. And he'll like also downshift when he's taking a turn. And we were just kind of like,
So you just slowly
You
watch
gotta-
yourself sink back into
Yeah,
the
you-
water.
get up and then sink. And it's like, you know, you don't want to show any disrespect. The man's 80 years old. He's like, he really is a great sailor, cares about the boats. But it's also, you had to have the talk where it's like, you gotta you can't downshift.
No.
We gotta keep going.
This is a speedboat. It's
Yeah.
designed to just go.
Also did this thing with like we were all celebrating our birthdays. So it was like me 50, my dad 80.
So you just flipped.
I haven't flipped yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't got my $25 pool pass yet.
All right. Okay.
I'm still in my 40s
All right.
somehow.
Right. Just run with it.
That
for
went
now.
by quick, Joe.
Yeah.
40s is just a blink. You know, and you remember turning 40 and thinking it was so old. But I'd kill to be as young as 40.
I remember
41.
thinking, no, I thought 40. I was like, it's not so bad. But
Yeah.
then I hit 50. I'm like, fuck this noise, dude.
Well, that's what's funny about turning into a new decade.
Yeah.
The first birthday in the first year, the first 2 years, you're like, what's the difference, man?
Yeah.
Now I even have a budget or whatever's better.
budget.
You're like, I'm like, when you turn 30, you're like, I'm in my 20s, but I like things are going my way. You know, I have more money, I have this, I have that. But then around like 39, you're like, oh, this shit is real. So in a way, you turn 50 before you turn 50, but you're so used to the idea by the time you turn 50. How old are you? Do you
Me?
want to say? Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay,
I'm going to
good.
be 56.
Oh, really? I
Okay,
had no
that's
idea.
not the answer. That was a crazy response.
I thought you were maybe 51, 52.
Look at me. I just got told today I look like, you know, they're like, hey, that's a great Ernest Hemingway look. I'm like, okay, so I'm an alcoholic and I'm, you know,
No.
I'm just going to fall off a boat? Like, I don't understand what
It's
your
just
description
the
of me is.
beard.
Yeah, it is.
You
the
know what I
beard,
mean?
right?
If you shave, like check me with a beard. You called me Benjamin Buttons the other week.
Every week is
Yeah.
just-
Well, I look like baby Benjamin Button when I grow a beard, because it's white.
Oh, do you have a white beard?
I have a white
Yeah,
beard,
yeah.
which looks great with my tan when it just barely grows in. It's like salt. It's like salt and pepper without the pepper in the beard, pepper on the face. Kind of nice. So my family's so funny, especially in contrast to my wife's family, because they're like way into gifts and they tell each other like what they got and it's all exciting and they hug afterwards. I got gifts for everybody because I thought we were all celebrating the birthdays. My brother got gifts for everybody. My mom goes, "Oh, she goes, I meant to tell you no gifts." Or she goes, "I was going to tell you no gifts." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you didn't say no gifts." And so like they had no gifts. Me and my brother exchanged our little gifts. They were like this or that. We thought about it for about an hour, what we bought each other. They were perfectly fine gifts. I got my brother a skateboarding coffee table. He got me a book of pickles, which is an inside joke. And we were just like, yeah, thanks. And my wife was like, there's no hugs. It's very funny. Like just the contrast of it. And she's like, I'm starting to get like what's going on, because it took me a while to realize how important gifts were in my marriage with my wife.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you meant in general. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
No, so when I was around 30, I dated this successful actress who taught me how important it was to buy gifts for people you work with.
Okay.
And like if you go to a birthday party, get a card and stuff.
Okay.
And then my wife is finally happy because I'm up to speed with my gift giving now. I know I have to, it's important to like really plan it out and get something good, because my wife is going to give me something good too. I said on an earlier podcast that my wife isn't good at giving gifts. Completely untrue.
Okay. Good.
She's
I'm
very
assuming
good
she
at it.
heard that, and then you guys had a talk.
Oh
or-
yeah, for
Okay, all right,
sure.
just wanna make
And I completely re-edited that episode, and I realized so if you've met her, I think you've only briefly met her.
Briefly, yeah.
She is like the sweetest, most generous person in the world. And so I just assume everybody knows that. So I'm just like talking about how hard it is to shop for her
Right.
in an earlier podcast. And she was like, hey, bro,
You're making me look bad.
you're
here.
making me look bad. And you're shitting all, you made it look like it was such a pain in the ass when you did succeed at this. And I was like,
It's comedy,
"You're
baby."
right." That's the other thing that's not
It's comedy.
understood. Comedy, there's not a lot of comedy in what's working.
Is this the full charge truth hour?
This is the full charge truth hour.
No, we cannot lie. We can't exaggerate.
You can still go on to exaggerate, and we can still edit.
We have to
But
stay
this isn't-
somewhere in the truth.
Well,
In general, I'm
just
talking
say,
about thematically.
I feel like I'm on thin ice already, but I'll just tell you and probably edit it out. Since I don't make that much money these days, and my wife does, like she's basically become a producer on the show.
Okay, fair
Like
enough.
she'll listen to it and be like, and I don't have a leg to stand on. I'm like, yeah, all right, you're right. Re-editing that. Go back. There's episodes that are only about a half an hour long now.
You know how I have been doing podcasts. I don't even know how long. I mean, it's probably a long, long time. Way back, Ian Bagg first started doing it way back in the day, right? There's a running joke in my house. My wife has never once heard me on a podcast ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, see, my wife
And I'm okay with that, actually.
My wife loves me so much that she gets the idea that, like, I can't talk to her all day because it's just not my personality. I start to, like, shut down after a while. So then I'll walk into the next room and she'll be laughing with headphones in. And then she'll be like, you told Craig this, that, and the other. She's listening to my podcast.
That's good. So she's getting
Which she
extra,
loves.
getting extra Matt time.
But then every once in a while, it's like, hey, that's not completely honest. And what you have always told me, and I agree with 100%, like, this isn't the full charge truth hour. This is the full charge, let's get some laughs hour.
Exactly.
And so in the spur of the moment, I'll just say something that's not true, not 100% true.
Right.
Because I know it'll get a laugh. And then if it's funny, I got to leave it in. So that's what happens. But then from her perspective, her friends might be listening to this. Her family might be listening to this. My fans are listening to this. She doesn't like the idea that they might think that she's not a good gift giver, because she is. It bothers her. She's new to this world. I know that people think all kinds of horrible things about me, and I'm okay with it. On the other hand, it's not her trashing me with her friends.
Yeah, fair enough.
I also probably wouldn't listen.
Listen, we can workshop a couple disclaimers up front, to kind of clear the air with the audience, let them know what you hear you have to take with a grain of salt.
It's also just kind of...
Sea salt, I think, is more popular now, so grain of sea salt.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. We have to think about our health. But it's to the point, it's very funny. So people get in trouble with podcasting and YouTube channels and stuff because this entertainment is so fleeting. People don't even remember the next week. I could listen to a podcast we did 8 years ago, and I won't remember anything I was talking about. And I'd probably want to give myself a hug for, like, how warped my thinking was at the time. Until, like, say you get something prestigious or you get hired for a good job. Then there's going to be somebody who's going to comb through every second of what you've done, isolate it down to 25 seconds and be like, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
If you're a politician, you can just be like, yeah, I said it, so what? If you're an entertainer, you have to be like, I have to apologize.
Yeah.
I was at a dark place in my life. It's like the world is completely flipped.
Still in a dark place.
Yeah. By the way, can you even get canceled anymore? You can't, right?
No, I think that's over.
Yeah. If you did something illegal, you might face court time. If you didn't, you just have to, like, stick to your guns.
Yeah, I think the cancel thing. I don't necessarily know if the cancel culture was like ever like a full steam real thing. I think some people, justifiably so, got booted out. But their behavior was disgusting.
It wasn't about what they said, it was about what they did.
But I think the people that did the joking and all that kind of stuff, they were just like, all right, whatever, and just kept moved on with their lives, and they never were taken down. And I think that in itself kind of mooted the cancel culture
I think so. It did, because it actually, like, put you in the news and got you into, there's a bunch of people who will like you just because you're canceled.
Yeah.
And those aren't the fans I want.
Well, I think that movement's changed, though. It used to just be that. But I think there's an element of exhaustion overall with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, let's take it down a notch.
It is.
A joke is a joke sometimes still. Like, relax.
Yeah.
It's not destroying the world. A joke does not destroy the world.
Yeah.
Guys,
Right.
the Tenacious D was on stage at Sydney,
Yeah.
and Kyle Gass said something like, next time, don't miss.
Yes.
That's different.
They canceled their entire tour.
Oh, they canceled the tour.
The entire tour.
I thought Tenacious D canceled their own tour.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, yeah, because
but that's too far.
that's about violence.
Yeah.
That's about political violence, and they're doing live shows, and it gets complicated, and it's a fucking, you can't say that.
No.
You can't say that, And I hate Trump's living guts. But you can't say that.
No.
It's wrong.
Not even in Australia?
I don't know. That's a great question.
They're different hemispheres. Is that not cool?
It probably is cool, but it's preemptive.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to face any repercussions because I don't think guns are a big thing over there. I think it's
No,
hard to
not
get
at
a gun
all.
over
They have
there.
no guns.
No, they're not a
But-
gun culture at all.
But I think they just decided they're in bad taste and they canceled themselves, which is something Democrats will do. They'll just be like, I cancel myself. Al Franken, I'm gone. I resign.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm out.
Yeah. A friend of my dad's on Facebook wrote me, because, as of May, I have been putting out videos every day from this podcast.
You work
and
hard. Yeah.
we curse our brains out here.
Uh-oh.
And
Swear police.
and we talk about whatever here. And there's no swear police.
Okay, good.
But my Instagram goes straight to Facebook, and I hardly ever check my Facebook, but I was checking my messages the other day, and a friend's dad from my childhood, he wrote, please cancel me.
What?
Under one of my videos. And I think what he was saying, there's one of two things he's saying. One is, which I don't think it is, one is, you're saying this, Matt, you're going to get canceled. Please cancel me. But what I think he's saying is, I'm sick of these videos in my feed.
Oh.
Please cancel me from your advertisements, your service.
So he was unsubscribing in a way you can't really unsubscribe.
He was asking me to block him because he didn't understand that he follows me.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even understand that it's me. He probably doesn't understand that it's Matt Fulcheron from the 3 blocks over in Southern Maryland.
Okay.
So I think what he's telling me is like I'm like Amazon.com and I'm a text message and he's trying to opt out. And I was actually, first of all, hurt because like you want like your parents and your parents' friends. He's almost like a parent to me. You want them to be like proud, even though you're 50 and you don't care, but you would like it if they liked you. But I just wrote him, I go, all you got to do is hit unfriend to my Facebook page. I go, hope you well.
No response?
No response.
Is he still your friend?
I didn't check.
You got to check. You got to look into
I
that
should
stuff.
check. But his son still like loves me and goes to see me live. What's up, Lucas? Shouts out. He still listens. He's come to see me in Baltimore. And I almost wanted to hit him up and be like, yo, your dad isn't a fan. But I kind of didn't want to get into it. I kind of just wanted to make it like, I'll give you the information. I'll be a swell guy. I understand if you use Facebook just for like your family and I want you to understand how to unfriend me. But I was also like, oh, dude, that sucks.
But here's the problem that I love about the elders and the internet. Like what he doesn't understand is as soon as he commented on it, he actually boosted the chances that it's going to show up more because
Right.
the algorithms or logarithms, whatever the hell
Yeah.
they're called, it's going to go, oh, this guy's interacting with
Yeah.
this stuff. Let's really give it to
Yeah,
him.
and he might not exactly, and he might not know how to like fast forward through it, right? So like the computer thinks he's watching the whole thing, and goes, "Oh, this guy loves the Full Charge Power Hour."
Probably an ultra fan. That's inner circle stuff
Yeah,
here. Let's
yeah,
really
yeah,
give
yeah,
it to him.
Yeah. So that was like kind of funny and kind of sad all at once. So then got back on the road, drove back to Novato, and then drove up to Crescent City, California, which is above Eureka. And by the way, I could totally live in Eureka. Have you ever been there?
I have not. Is it beautiful?
It's beautiful, and they got a whole town there.
It's just laid back.
Cool vibe to the town. I could totally, like, me and my wife were talking about dropping out the whole time. Like, my sweet, beautiful wife. I don't say that enough on this. We were talking
Do
about.
we know to check that off
We
on
were
the-
talking. Hi, honey. We were talking about just like dropping out and just like live and set up somewhere up there.
Probably will eventually happen.
I mean, you got to get out of the rat race eventually. I was looking at this thing that it said you're constantly in fight and flight if you have 3 of these things, and I had all 3. It was like live in a big city, are way into your career, and do strenuous exercise. I was like, again, high blood pressure, jacked up. I had all 3 things. Anyway, we went to Crescent City.
You look great.
Beautiful.
all
That's
that.
really
It's-
all
it's-
that's
it's really-
important. I mean, we're on camera now. I got to keep exercising.
yes.
I got to keep doing these videos. I got to keep living in Los Angeles. I don't have to keep living in Los Angeles.
That's true.
You can do this from anywhere now. But
We're
all
global.
all things Comedy Studio. Come on, man. I love this place.
Aaron ain't gonna travel with you, so
No, he's not. Crescent City, typical American thing, beautiful city that's like gotten a little run down. And you realize why people in small towns are kind of pissed. And their cities are just like run down. They feel forgotten. But except they always have a casino, and that's what I played. Elk Valley Casino. There's like elks on the front like lawn.
that's awesome.
Like straight up elks.
just chilling.
Elks.
Not the guys that wear the hats.
And I got to no, I was not playing an Elks Lodge, which I'm surprised I never got turned on to that circuit. The
Give it
Elks Lodge
time.
circuit.
Now you're over 50. There's a chance
Yeah,
you might
maybe
start
I
getting
can get in
invited to
there.
that stuff.
Yeah, maybe I can. And the show was awesome. I even made a joke. I was like, you had to be there, of course, but see, negative. Fuck that joke up. This joke killed at the show. I was like, do you guys even have Uber, or do we just ride Elks out of here at the end of the night?
There it is.
Kaboom! I should have set that up, but this joke is amazing. Went over well. No, actually, great show. Tons of fun. Drove back to San Francisco. Stayed with my brother. Drove back to Los Angeles yesterday. 8 days on the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
That's
it feel
lot.
like 8 or did it feel like more than 8?
It's a long. I don't like being away from home that long anymore. You're constantly like, where's my this? Where's my that? I can't take it. And also that much driving. It's just too much.
Oh yeah, I used to be a tour manager for bands, so
You get older, you realize just how dangerous it is to drive down the highway every day of your life.
oh yeah.
It's just crazy, man. It's crazy
Yeah.
if you think about it. Isn't that how most people die in a car?
Yes. Well, I mean, no, there's other ways to die, but
But
yes,
most
that's
people.
yeah, it can be dangerous. Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways,
That's why
knock
now,
on wood. I'm glad I made it home.
Just drive 55, dude. Just like the
Drive-
song.
Drive
Remember that song?
55. Yeah, no, I try to go only.
Might as well go for a soda. Is that song?
Yeah. I can't drive 55.
No, is it? Well, that's Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy that had a song. Maybe it wasn't
David Lee
about-
Roth.
No. I can't remember who it was. I know we live in the age of like I can grab my phone and look, but I don't give that much of a shit. But no, there was another song that was the Sammy Hagar one wasn't. The other one was more preachy. Sammy Hagar, I don't think was. His was I Can't Drive 55.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which was great once they jacked it back up to 65, 75, and people still had the sticker on their bumper like, I can't drive 55. Good news, bro. You're going to be able to get that 85 Honda Civic up to about 59 before it starts shaking. Where are we at? Please cancel me. I already did that. Tell me what you think about this. We've established our ages.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you want out of an evening with your friends now. You get why people get together to play poker and stuff like that. You want to just chill out with maybe about 3 or 4 friends, 5 friends, and talk to them, probably at somebody's home where you can adjust the music. I still have tons of friends who, like, if it's somebody's birthday, they want to go out to a crowded bar on Friday night. I don't get this because we're just shouting into each other's ears and they're jacking up songs. We're not going to talk to any strangers, definitely not any women. We're just going to scream and shout at a place when we could just go to somebody's house.
These people that are organizing it, are
Yeah.
they in long-term relationships? Are they old
They're
enough
all
to have
married.
kids or married?
They're all married.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of it is you put up with all the hassle of doing that because you're out hunting, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
everyone's out looking still.
Yeah, and yeah, also
And
yeah,
they enjoy that social network.
yeah, and yeah. You want to see?
We're not looking
you-
for more
We're
anymore.
trying not to meet people because it only means trouble.
Yeah,
You know, some woman starts talking to you, just fucking run away.
yeah.
You don't want any of that.
It's too well. It's where everything becomes work.
Yeah,
Everything becomes laborious. From like, where do we park?
yeah.
How much is that?
Oh, I know. Yeah, now you're just, and I don't even want to get
Wait,
drunk.
you're gonna take my keys?
Right? And I don't like getting drunk anymore because I know I'm not going to be able to sleep. But guess what? I'm at a bar for 4.5 hours. I'm drunk. I'm drunk. I'll tell you this. about like not wanting to meet people though. I actually have become like a good guy. I'll just give you an example. I was at the bar ordering a drink, and this young woman orders some food and she gets a number, but she leaves it. And then when she starts heading back, I actually grab the number and give it to her just because I wanted to give it to her. Like 20 years ago, I'd be like, here's my in. But I genuinely just wanted to help out. It was a beautiful moment, you know?
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Now, you skate a fine line.
Yeah,
whereas
sure.
It could be misinterpreted.
Of course.
And then you're like, do I actually have to say the words, oh, no, I'm not hitting on you. And then they're like, great ploy.
Yeah.
You're bailing to pretend.
Sure.
And you're like, no.
No, you can't say that. Otherwise it sounds like you are.
Right.
I did the perfect thing. Like, again, honesty just works. Like and body language is honest. I was like smiling and then immediately like went to the bar.
Moved away. Yeah.
Like not moved away, like completely looked like at the bartender. Like, I'm just helping you out and I'm moving on. I didn't see her reaction or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. You moved away.
Yeah,
You didn't hold on for a second like, huh? Where's this going? I don't know. Do you know where it's going? I don't know.
Ass, gas, or grass. Come on. Nobody gets their number handed for free. Meanwhile, it's also not that big of a hookup. It's like, here's your number, which you already own.
Right.
Like, she could have just walked another 5 feet.
Yeah, but
know?
if it was years and years and years ago, you wouldn't have thought, you wouldn't have looked at it that way.
I probably would have played it cool and be like, yeah, I'm not doing it. You know, I'd completely miss my end. But this was just like, I don't know. I enjoy, like, in this world where everyone's so nasty to each other nowadays, I feel like it's so great if you can be nice to somebody. It makes you feel so good.
Look, it's a 50-50 shot. I agree with you. I'm at a point now where I'm like, if I go to a store and I'm getting something, I'm smiling at the register.
Yes.
And sometimes you get the feedback, and then other times they're like, hey, weirdo.
Yeah.
Older weird person.
Yeah.
Why don't we just go ahead and check out a society and leave us folk alone with all your weirdo-ness? And you're like, okay.
I'm always amazed when somebody isn't like just over the moon when I'm polite and smiling and like maybe even talking a little bit, because they don't realize it takes me a lot of effort to be like, hey, nice weather we're having. And then when they start acting like me and being like, fuck your weather, I'm like, don't you get it? I'm charming.
Fuck off, Grandpa.
I was on television a couple times. Like, you don't get this? This is a good experience for you.
Get this?
What is this? What's your problem?
Now you're negative.
Tell me what you think of this.
All right, I'm going to tell you.
There's a bunch of there's always dog lost posters all over, everywhere.
Yeah.
We even had one in our neighborhood that was like, hey, by the way, don't let your dog eat trash because our dog ate something that had fentanyl in it.
That would, given where we live, that's not a surprise.
I saw a bunch of signs that said lost dog, and then on just one of the signs in Griffith Park, it just said found. Like somebody wrote that they found the dog.
Great news.
But also, don't you take the sign down?
No, well, unless that person was being an asshole and was trying to stop people from looking for the dog.
Yeah, so that's a sabotage. I'm talking about you put the sign up. Do you have to take the signs down anyway?
No, I think you leave it up for a while.
And say found?
Because people need to know. Because I'll tell you, being in the dog world,
yes,
people take that shit very seriously.
Yeah.
It's like people are out on the prowl looking. When it comes to dogs, dude, this is like real shit.
Oh, I know.
People will like, which
it's
is
like
great.
It's like having a kid, especially if you don't have kids.
Yeah. That community will like rally quick and like try to figure it out.
You need to print a retraction.
Yes.
So that person was right.
They were right.
Okay, good.
Because there's probably a few people out there that are still looking.
Well, here's where they fucked up. Sorry to my older friends on Facebook.
Cancel me.
Here's where they fucked up. Please cancel me. They only wrote found on one of them.
So you had to be in the right spot in order to know?
You know what? I should go around all the other signs and say, please see original sign.
Dude, there was a cat named Tim that was missing in our neighborhood for like, I don't know how long the cat was missing, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you see that same sign up for months, every time after a while, I'm like, oh, Tim.
Yeah, I know.
Where'd you go, Tim?
I know.
What happened? Because I would love an update, but I'm not going to get an update on Tim. So my assumption is if it's been up that long, we all know.
I'm with you. That like really bums me out. There was one in my neighborhood, and I specifically remembered it because it was Craig's last name. It said Coleman is missing. And like, it always like stuck out to me. I'm like, oh man, they still haven't found Coleman.
They still haven't found Coleman.
All right, well, now we know.
Yeah,
If you
updates are
put
good.
signs up, put the updates out.
Now, would you do that if you were in a band and you put like need a guitarist? Would you put found? Would you go back to all of them and be like found?
You can never have too many guitarists. Just ask the Eagles.
Drummers, whatever.
And you never know when your lead guitarist is going to be a total dick or join a better band.
So you might as well just keep
You
it
might-
open.
you always
Keep it
have a-
open.
At least a rhythm guitar player on the back burner.
Always be looking.
That's my philosophy. Aaron, well, let's throw a couple more open mics out there. No, I don't have the fucking confidence for this stuff. Let's get Eric Wendell on the phone if you don't mind.
Get him. But I do have a question for you because
Yeah.
this happened coming into the studio.
Okay.
So I'm pulling up and I'm trying to get in between two cars on parallel
Yeah.
parking.
Yeah.
There was a guy across the street watching me do it, and it was a tight spot, but it was the only spot I had available. I got in, then he walked across the street and got in the car right behind me and pulled out, which means he could have
Oh yeah.
gotten in his car
Move.
and said, "Hold on one second, let me get I'm leaving anyway."
Yeah.
But he let me do the struggle, and then he got there, and I was like, "Dude,
That is a sin. That is
Right?
That is a mortal sin.
your first instinct should be let me help."
I'm so into parallel parking courtesy. I make sure I'm not over the gap. I make sure I'm not over the red. I make sure if I have the opportunity, I pull all the way to the ends. And so there's plenty of things. I make sure there's room.
I'm with
For
you on
everybody?
all those things, and I do want to be clear. I kicked ass on the spot parking. Like
Good.
I'm really good at it.
Right.
But he's still.
Listen,
He's still.
you feel okay about it because you nailed the parking spot, which is, I've mentioned I've been on television. I've toured around the world.
While you're parking?
No.
Oh, okay.
My point is, I've accomplished all these things, which I think are monumental. My dad is never more proud of me as when I parallel park a car. He thinks this is the most incredible thing because he's country folk, but he's also a car guy. So he's
So
like,
that's when he's like, that's
he
my boy
also
over there.
saw my skills when I was 15, and he's like, this kid's gonna live at home forever. He can't even parallel park a Volkswagen Golf. I spent half my life in New York moving my car because they had street cleaning twice a day in New York.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And
That's a lot.
so I did the thing where I'm sitting waiting for the meter maid. And are we still using that term?
Sure.
And I'm right where I'm supposed to be, like a foot away from a driveway. So I'm not blocking the driveway. But there's also space between me and the other car because it's like that's the way you do it, so that there's always maximum amount of room between the two driveways. I usually don't whine about Gen Zers or millennials, or this kid was like clearly younger than me. He pulled up next to me and he goes, "Move up, you think? Move up, maybe?" And I was like, dude, if I move up, you're just gonna like box me in,
Yeah.
like 100%. This
Yep.
isn't like I'm in the right place.
Would you just stare at him?
No, I just told him I'm in the right place. Like if you can't parallel park there, you don't deserve that spot.
And he leave?
He didn't parallel park. He didn't deserve the spot.
Right. So he left.
Yeah.
He had to go.
So like that was the spot he actually wanted me to get into if I pulled up,
Yeah.
right? Like, so it wasn't big enough. What I'm trying to say is fuck that guy.
That's
man.
right.
And I'm still pissed whenever I think about it. But like we talked about before,
Yeah.
everything's fine.
He's gone now.
He's gone.
Not in a
I read another
He's
thing
just
where like
physically somewhere
your
else.
emotions are just supposed to teach you like, hey, like, don't let that happen again or whatever. In this case, my emotions did me no good, other than, hey, I'm not moving up, right? But then like I can get pissed about things that happened in 1987.
I was going to say, I've never heard this theory. This is an amazing theory that your emotions are supposed to remind you.
Teach you something.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was using it more like a training session because
Right.
I'm really good at being emotional now.
Yeah.
Like, because I've got years of like working
Yeah.
that shit out, right?
Right.
So I can really drop it when I have to.
So you can just drop it and not get upset, or you can get
no,
super
I'm saying
angry.
yeah,
because
exact opposite. I
also-
built the muscle of over emotional.
The other side of it is just building and building and building. You've been burned
Yeah.
too many times before. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Wendell is with us.
He knows. There he is. Look at that. He's got a beard too.
I'm on board with everything you're saying. Like, I'm just listening to the story about this bad Parker, and I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. Dude, I saw something funny that ties into this. I went to Costco to get gas yesterday. I'm sitting there getting gas, and I look over, and there's a standoff in the parking lot. Some dummy's trying to go the opposite way of the arrow because they just redid the whole parking lot. This guy's going this way, the other guy's coming this way, and they're at a standoff. They're just sitting there, nose to nose, because the one guy's going the wrong direction, and the other guy's like, no, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
Just going to sit there. And I was there for like 10 minutes watching it, and I got gas. I finally had to just give up. Like, I don't know how long they had their standoff, but it was really fucking amusing.
Have you ever gotten in
It's
a
the same type of thing I'd do.
Have you ever
right?
gotten in a standoff on foot where like you both kind of go the same way at the same time and it gets a little frustrating?
Yeah, just hug.
I've been on the worst end of that. I start nervously laughing, but twice. One time in San Francisco, I had this woman just get so fucking angry with me. Probably thought I was doing it on purpose. One time in the subway in New York, this young woman, like maybe like 22 years old at the most, 25, something like that. It happens once, like just one sidestepping what we both do, and she just goes, "Move."
Okay.
What the fuck?
That's a miserable person.
Well, it's also like, you know, and I'm not going to sit there and dwell on this and complain on this.
Well, we are.
But in
We're
some
dwelling on it
camps,
right now.
what if you're a white man? People are just like, "Fuck you for everything in history." Move.
Speaking of that, by the way,
I don't think-
could the three of us look any more similar?
Yeah, I know. We look like
Black
we're,
hats,
we look like we're
black
about to-
shirts.
We look like we're about to storm the Capitol.
The only thing. Great. Now I got to go home and change.
Dude.
The only thing you're missing is Wendell and I are sporting the white beards. You said you could grow them when had you known. I guess
I got one in here. And if people
Just
they want to
there.
enlarge it, I've got white hair.
It's just enlarge it.
If you got
Just
white hair right
so
here.
they have to screen grab and then.
Yeah, if they really care that much.
Okay.
We're on YouTube. We're on YouTube. I never plugged that. It's Matt Fulcheron. YouTube.
If there was ever a reason to go.
No, you should watch us.
No,
Like
I agree, but
you know?
your lead-in was for white beards.
This is episode 12, and it's the first time I mentioned we're on YouTube, so that's on me. But we're on YouTube. Check us out. Wendell,
Yeah.
weekly. Any more grief? Any more?
This is just laziness.
Yours looks
I don't really
fake.
want a beard. I'm just lazy.
Your beard looks fake.
Did you put on a fake beard?
Your mustache looks fake.
Are you serious? It's not fake.
Conspiracy. Everything's conspiracy now. What Eric Wendell has a fake beard. It's going to
Yeah.
be trending.
Yeah.
It's only going to be like that 3,500 level trending, which is that really a trend when it's only 3K on Twitter? Anyways, I'm riffing. Talk to me, Wendell. What's going on?
Dude, I'm just trying to stay cool. It's fucking hot as shit. Like, I literally have an air conditioner 3 feet in front of me on high, and I'm still fucking like sweating.
Yeah, man.
It's hot.
By the way, you guys are movie buffs,
Yeah.
right?
I was hoping
Yeah.
we could get to that. Yeah.
So my kids wanted to watch a movie with me, and their movie of choice was the Godzilla King Kong movie.
Okay.
Did either one of you see it?
Have not seen it.
No. Wendell?
No, I never watched it. I felt like I saw the trailer so many times I couldn't bear to watch
He
it.
dropped
I
off
saw
at-
the whole
at-
movie in the trailer.
at Kong Island.
Okay.
Right. That's the last one you saw.
That's the last one I saw. That one was actually pretty good.
That was good.
I mean, entertaining wise. I mean,
Yeah,
no
look,
Oscars are going to be won by any of these
Hey,
movies.
listen, I'm
but-
big into entertainment wise when I'm watching a movie.
This was rough. This one was rough.
It wasn't good.
You know what it was? You know what the problem? I like Godzilla. I like sci-fi. I'm not a prude. I'm pretty easy to entertain for the most
Sure.
part. But this one was killing me because you could tell that the whole movie was about just trying to get to scenes where King Kong and Godzilla were in it.
Yeah.
But they had to write dialogue in between to get us there.
Yeah.
And after a while, I was like, okay, so in this scene, you guys are going to talk about what's about to happen? They're
Yeah.
like, yes, we are. And you're like, okay, can we just fucking wrap this shit up?
Just
Like,
show me the
literally,
edit.
that's all the whole movie was talk about what's about to happen, have it happen, and then go, oh, no, here's a new thing we need to talk about that's probably going to happen next. And you're like, okay.
Was
And
it-
look, I know how hard it is to make a movie. Bravo that you're making these things, but it was driving me nuts.
There should have been a scene where you're saying like it's all about getting them together. There should be a scene where King Kong pulls up in a car at an intersection, and Godzilla is walking across the street with donuts and coffee in his hand, and he looks at King Kong and goes, "Motherfucker," and then King Kong slams his car into him.
I'd watch
Kong
that.
fiction.
I'd watch that.
That sounds better than the actual movie.
Anyway, I
Yeah,
wanted.
it sounds like Pulp Fiction, which is a great movie.
That was to say. I wanted them to watch my two picks. Couldn't have been further from watching
Yeah.
their choice of Godzilla.
You want to
King
watch
Kong.
like Annie Hall?
No, but no, I'm not gonna go that far. True Romance
Oh wow.
and Almost Famous.
Oh dude.
and
they
they both were like
you.
no and no, and Godzilla King Kong, and I was like,
They could have watched Almost Famous, like verse True Romance. That's a good matchup.
I'll eventually
Double
get them
feature.
there, but I love those two movies.
Those two
Yeah.
movies are perfect, man. I mean, True Romance, I don't think the ending is perfect, but it's mostly perfect. And Almost Famous is just fantastic.
Absolutely. Wendell, thoughts?
Wendell, how
That's a
many
great
ice cream
movie.
trucks? Bonus
No,
review.
both great. I mean, Almost Famous, true story. So you can't beat it.
well,
like
it's
that.
not
I mean,
a
that's an
true
amazing story.
Based on a true story.
Yeah.
Cameron Crowe.
Yeah, based.
I mean-
it's like plant based though. You know what I mean? It's not all plant.
But that. I mean, how cool of a story is that though? Like, your dream is to be a fucking writer for Rolling Stone, and you're fucking 13,
And
and,
I
you're
hate to
fucking
say
or
it, but
whatever. and
that's how
you
it's
make it
got-
happen, dude.
That's how it's got to go if you want a career. You want to be a reporter, you better start when you're 14.
Yeah.
You know, you want to
Yeah.
be a stand-up, you better Dave Chappelle that shit.
Yeah.
You better be up at the Apollo when you're 16
I
years
started
old.
stand up at 31. What the fuck was I
31.
thinking? Jesus Christ.
20. I was almost 24, which is like
I
that's.
like how much you laugh when I said 31.
I know, but that's late. 24 is late.
I suffered
Everything's
trauma, and then I was finally ready to be funny.
late. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you do start early, it is too early for stand-up.
Right.
Because, but people know how to do it. Like Adam Sandler or somebody, just go out there and be goofy.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Whereas when I learned like all this. You want to talk about negative thinking? I think I would have been a very different person if I didn't do open mics, because I just found like, I mean, eventually the internet's gonna come around, but I just saw like all these adults, like young adults, going up and talking about like these horrible, horrible negative perspectives on life.
Yeah.
And just like shitting on people and things and institutions. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun.
This open mic was the comment
Yeah.
section of the internet.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Wendell, what movie are you reviewing?
I got a chance to watch Beverly Hills Cop 4
Oh.
on
Did you?
Netflix.
No, but here's my, and I don't care if you spoil it, here's my only critique of the movie, and it's based on the billboard. I might have even said this before. It's 2024, and he's got the same outfit as 1982. And he's not a hipster.
It's.
He's not playing at
I mean,
the
have you
Echo.
seen the movie?
No, I haven't seen it. Is there a joke about that?
No, it's basically you're right on the money. It's basically the same movie.
Is it actually
from
Back to the Future Part 4?
1984. I mean, that's I have a lot of criticism about it. Was I entertained? Of course, I was entertained. They brought back Taggart.
Can I
brought
give
back Billy?
Can I give critique of the first movie just real quick? It's the
Sure.
craziest movie because he's in Detroit. Somebody gets killed. He suspects somebody. He goes to Beverly Hills, and the person he suspects is the guy that does it. And then they just arrest the guy he suspects, right? Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy minimal plot for a Hollywood movie.
But there's so much happened.
no, I know.
Destruction, bananas, and
He's hanging off the
tailpipes.
back of a truck.
Yeah.
And like he's eating at a buffet, but he
There's a
doesn't fit
neutron
in.
dance in there
Yeah,
somewhere,
oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Bam, 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 bam. But it reunites you with the song Axel F, right?
Yeah, dude, they brought all the same music. But this is part of the problem for this movie. it's the same fucking movie. It's just in 2024 instead of 1984, and that's what kills me. Like, okay, have a couple kitschy Easter egg jokes from the original movie or whatever for old times, so we can laugh about how great the original was. But have a new story. Have something original. The whole movie is basically a fucking remake.
That's what we call Beverly Hills Cop 3, and no one liked that one.
That was so bad.
Yeah, I don't even remember what happened in that one. To be honest, that was so long ago.
I haven't even seen it. I'm just joking.
It's on Paramount. I watched those with my youngest son, all three of them, to get him ready. And then we watched 4 together. And he said, and you know that he's 16. And he was like, "Oh, this is basically the first one again."
Oh,
but everybody's older.
Oh, all right. Damn.
Well, I mean, they had the same car chase in Detroit, except instead of a cigarette truck, it's a fucking ice, a grater for snow or an ice and shit. So he's driving that around, destroying all the cars.
It should have been K95 masks
semi.
to like really update.
Yeah. The same soundtrack, all the same songs.
So would you say,
they go to
Wendell,
Beverly Hills? Huh?
Would you say that Beverly Hills Cop 4 is basically the same criticism everybody gave the J.J. Abrams Star Wars movie, which is like, we're just going to do something that plays to everyone's memory? It's like, it's basically, remember the first Star Wars? Well, we're redoing it. We're repackaging that. It'll make you feel good the whole time.
I think, well, my opinion is, and someone else brought this to my attention, so I don't take credit for it, but someone else told me they think, okay, well, it's been 40 years since the original. Kids these days haven't even probably seen the original, so let's remake the same movie, basically, so then a new audience gets to see the fucking movie that hadn't seen the original. So that's probably about right.
Okay, so it's the same exact movie then.
But they're not going to make a 5.
Yeah, it is. It's Beverly Hills Cop 2 made it.
They heard they were going to do a TV show or something and another movie, but I don't know if it's true. Really? I didn't look it up.
So does the plot thicken in this one at least?
I mean, the only new part of the story is that Axel Foley has a daughter, an estranged daughter. She happens to be a lawyer in Beverly Hills. They haven't talked for years. So he goes out to Beverly Hills to try and crack this case, just like in the first movie. And, of course, you have the drama between the father-daughter. Oh, it was my fault. I was an asshole. No, it was your fault. You're not, blah, blah, blah. Same old fucking, we've seen that a million times. And then, of course, we make up and solve the case. Everybody lives happily ever after, blah, blah, blah.
When is Axel Foley going to retire? I mean, it's been a long time.
He's the only one that didn't look completely awful. Everyone else in this movie looks fucking old.
I don't mean Eddie Murphy. I mean, like, he's been a cop for a long time. Judge Reinhold looked awful.
Everyone else in the movie is basically either retiring in the movie, they're talking about they're retiring, that's their last fucking couple of days, or they're about to retire. He's the only one that's not ready to retire. He wants to stay on the street.
Yeah. All right. All right, Wendell, what do you give this movie? It doesn't sound like much.
I mean, if you hadn't seen the first one for a while and you're looking to rekindle some of the old fun and the old cast, I mean, it was fun to see the old cast get together. I don't know, maybe 2.5 ice cream trucks.
Ooh, brutal.
Can't really give him much more than that.
Please, Wendell, don't hurt him.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
What do you think, Brian? You saw it, right?
Yeah, I think I thought it was fine. It's a nostalgia movie. Comedies are hard to make now. You don't see a lot of comedies made.
Movies are hard to make now.
So I'll be a little bit more generous, and I'll go 3.5, just because it does. Yeah. It covers the bases, so you can't fault it for that. You know what it is going in. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Like, that was why I never got upset about that Star Wars movie.
I never got upset either.
But I was like, it did its job.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not expected to be too wowed. And comedy, we all know, is really hard to make.
But that is the vibe we're all going with now, because didn't this just come out straight to Netflix?
Yeah, it was a Netflix
So
movie.
we invest nothing in it. We already paid the subscription, and you just turn it on. You go, I don't expect much. I'm having an all right time. It's just like 3.5 straight through line.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, there's a bonus where you watch a 5-star movie that goes straight to Netflix, and you're like, fuck yeah, dude. This is fun. To all my friends and business associates, your shit on Netflix is amazing. I mean that sincerely.
Dude, they should use it. That's a great slogan.
Yeah. First time I saw the Netflix is a joke posters, I was like, oh man, somebody's elaborately shitting on Netflix around town.
Not realizing
I
it was
didn't realize
them.
it was their own thing. Yeah. I want to get the Hulu as a riddle thing going. But I don't have a street team. Thank you. Someone finally laughed at that joke. I could put a highlight reel of that joke from this podcast together. All right. I think that's going to do it for the Full Charge Power Hour, episode 12. And hit us up on Patreon, patreon.com/The Full Charge. Pledge $1 or more. And we'll see you in San Francisco, St. Louis Obispo. Yeah, check it out. Wendell, now with real audio equipment.
I don't know. It looks like he's got a Mentos in his ear, so I don't really know what.
Yeah, the fresh maker.
The fresh sounder. All right, dude. You can take off your fake beard. That's the end of the episode.
Oh.
He's Brad Pitt under there. Thanks, guys. Best challenge of my life. Wouldn't that be great if Wendell was an actor I hired?
I just want to get off
Dude,
here.
that's a long roll.
I just want to get off here if I can find out what famous actress used to date, because I don't remember any of this. So
Oh, yeah. I'll show you. All right.
I'll show you.
My wife found a naked picture
Peace
of
out,
her
fam.
recently, and she was like, it's cool, man. Like,
Okay.
you know, it's just like, it's a TV star. You got to keep it. Anyways, thanks for listening to the Full Charge Power Hour. We're out of here. I got to go look at a picture.